Yo, welcome to another edition of Toxic is the New Masculinity. I'm your host, Terrence J, with my other host, KY, here to my left and Bossy to my right. And y'all know this is a conversation amongst men where we have different topics that we talk about, just to let you know that just because it has a masculine spin to it does not mean that it's toxic. So we just decided to play a little bit on the name Toxic is the New Masculinity, since everywhere we turn, people keep saying masculinity is toxic, which is not. So, with that being said, welcome to another edition of Toxic is the New Masculinity. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
Man, it's all good. Listen, there is something that I saw. Make sure I give credit to. I saw a post. It was by Deval and Kadeem, which are a husband and wife couple, and
That's the Tina.
they was a Zatima, yeah, and they used to have a podcast called Dead Ass, but they changed it to, I think, to the Ellises now, just to give them credit for this. But it was a conversation that Deval was talking to his wife, saying, "Listen, everything we do as a man, it seems to be upsetting somebody. Every time we try to be too hard, if we too hard on our son, we're toxic. If we're too soft, we're raising a passive boy. If we try to lay down some type of structure with the family and the wife, we're controlling. But if we don't, we'll push over." So he was like, he asked the question, how can I be a man when you keep taking away the power to be a man? And that's what I want to talk about, is the power to be a man, right? And the reason I want to talk about that is because I thought it was a good question. I understood what he was saying, but I have a problem with feeling like you are allowing somebody else to have control over whether or not you are a man or not, right? And so I believe that's something that we have to take ownership of. If I'm a man, I'm a man. And at a point, we can't worry about how people feel. So you guys chime in on that.
Man,
One of y'all got there.
No, I just said that was powerful, man. I don't even know where to start, man. But so I saw the clip that you were talking about, right? And I guess the point is, the way I received what he said was just basically, right, the opposition of him taking, a man taking leadership, is almost feels like it's insurmountable for a myriad of reasons, right? Not necessarily that you can't be or shrink back from the responsibility, but just the fact is, you just hit with so many darts. Primarily, if you're in a relationship, from the one you're supposed to trust you the most. Your wife. Woman, you see, because I had, I think we've all had similar experiences that he was talking to about being within a group of women, and they have an opinion, right? Primarily, that opinion, whether they're feminists or not, equates to just that, submission is an issue for her. All right. Or she can follow your leadership as long as she's leading your leadership. You know what I mean? Which
I hope y'all got that. I hope y'all got that.
And it's facts.
Yeah.
Every decision you make is challenged. But to me, the interesting thing I find in all facets of a pushing against leadership is people don't understand the burden of leadership when something goes wrong.
Facts.
I always use this analogy, like if give me a company, Coca-Cola, whoever is the CEO of Coca-Cola, right? If Coca-Cola has a worldwide bacteria in their soda, right? And it goes wrong because, say, the guy on the assembly belt put some salt in it, over salted it, right? Whatever case, the people getting the taste of the Coca-Cola don't care about the man who put the salt in it.
No.
They want to talk to the CEO.
Facts.
And the CEO as a leader can't blame the dude he can't say, well, Johnny Smith, it ain't my fault.
No.
Johnny Smith, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's his fault. And so late women don't understand that. They want to make decisions and say, you can't do this, or don't tell me to do this, or don't do that. But if the decision they make becomes chaotic, nobody's looking at her. It's your dude. And And even the women who encourage you to be against your dude will start blaming your dude for your decisions. So a lot of people want the, if you want to call it, the blessing of leadership, but they don't want the backside of the blessing of leadership.
You know what that sounds like to me? It's almost like the music business. It goes over to a lot of other things. The person who talks the most, the person who has all the great ideas, the person who wants to take the most risks has nothing to do with it. But the guy in charge, or the person in charge, is very calculated.
Yeah.
And very laid back. The person is not a rah-rah person. I always call rah-rah people. But the person, hey man, I can do this, we can do this, you can do that. Got all these ideas, but no responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what happens is, and the reason that they have the freedom to rah-rah is because they know nobody's going to look at them. Right. You know, I don't know if you guys remember the TV show, what is it? Everybody Hates Chris, right?
Yeah. I remember that.
On Everybody Hates Chris, the mother of the show would always get a job. And the moment somebody would piss off, she'd say, I don't need this job. My man got 2 jobs. Yeah. Her freedom to pop off at people at work was different than what Julius, the husband, had to do, because he could never say, I don't need this second job. My wife got a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if they ever got put out that house, guess who thought it was going to be?
Oh, his.
It's going to be his, right? He's not going to have the ability to be able to say, well, I couldn't take care of the house because my wife went off and at her job, right? And so I think that's where when you talk about the responsibility that men have, and I think a lot of times, Boss, you was alluding to it, and Keith, you kind of put it, I always think of it in sports terms. The leader has to go out front and answer the questions or get the praise when things go right.
Mm-hmm.
The leader has to go out and get the question when things go bad. Right. What the leader can never do when they win is say, I did it. What the leader could never do when they lose is say, they did it.
Except if you're the president of the United States.
well, wait a minute. I did use the word leader.
Oh, well, my bad. You're right.
He ain't a leader. He the boss.
The orange man gonna be on y'all. But I was on a later show. I was joking on that, and I was alluding to the person who's standing behind that mic, who's that leader. And I always, you guys said, no, you can't. I said, but I just wonder, in the back of your head, does he really just want to say,
100%.
Run this, but I can't tell.
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
I gotta wait till we go back to the locker room and nobody sees that.
That's the thing. I remember. Well, the story is out now. Obviously, people know I'm a diehard Eagles fan, right? But I remember. You remember Chris Carter? Obviously, everybody knows Chris Carter. A lot of people, unless you really in sports, don't remember he played for Philly first. Right. He played under Buddy Ryan. And I remember at the time, it was like a big joke in sports, particularly in Philly, when they cut Chris Carter, when Buddy Ryan cut Chris Carter, they asked him, why did you cut Chris Carter? And Buddy Ryan said, and I quote, all he does is score touchdowns. That's what he said. Right. He got teased, like, what else do you want him to do? Right. That's the point, to score touchdowns, right? That's what he told the media. Everybody clowned Buddy Ryan. He was crazy, he was stupid. Chris Carter went to the Vikings, had a heck of a career.
Right.
When Chris Carter retired, Chris Carter told everybody Buddy Ryan cut him because he had a drug problem. He was addicted to drugs.
Right.
And he couldn't perform in practice. Yeah. And Buddy Ryan didn't want to put him out there. Right. So Buddy Ryan took the responsibility on himself to say, hey, this is why, because he wasn't going to put him out there. That's leadership.
Right.
Because if you came out there and said, Chris Carter got a drug problem, he'd look small. Right. He'd look out of control. He looked like he doesn't have a great, because the next thing the question, how can you let one of your guys have a drug problem?
You don't have control of your team.
Right, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
So that is generally the problem. Like you said, the most frequent advice comes from the person who has little to lose.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. Also, and thinking about even in that that clip, and I was thinking about it, man. and you guys answer this.
Mm-hmm.
In your family,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to be liked?
Yeah, I want to.
Do you want to be liked?
It'd
not
be
gonna
nice to
happen.
be like.
So I'm asking that because the role and the responsibility puts you in the position
You're not gonna be
where
like,
you're
yeah.
probably not going to
Gonna
be
be
liked
liked,
if
yeah.
you are
Exactly.
providing structure
Mm-hmm.
and organization.
Right.
You're not going to be liked all the time, right? And I think what I would love for even the ladies to understand when we talking is, yo, we have a desire to be liked. Like
Sure.
we married the woman that we love
Uh-huh.
because we like her.
Yeah.
We want her
Right.
to like us.
Right.
But in that situation, see, we on a football team, and I know a lot of things like, hey guys, this is a man show. We talking.
We play football.
What we talking about? There's a specific hierarchy.
Uh-huh.
You don't like the coach all the time,
That's right.
No.
but coach said run.
Yeah.
Coach said run, dive play.
Right.
Coach said we playing a 4-3 defense. You specialize in 3-4.
Yeah.
But what did coach say?
Yeah.
Now, what good coaches say is, KY, what you see out there? The conversation that you have back on the sideline, now he radios to the booth, hey, see if you see the same thing, because there might be a different play we can run. That's a good coach.
You know what's crazy, and I'm not calling myself a good coach, but we used to do that with our kids.
Yeah.
In Little League, we said, come here, what's going on out there? Because you got to understand,
Yes.
they're in the heat of the battle.
Yes.
And we always understood, me and him, sometimes that kid across from your kid is better than him.
Yeah.
So me yelling, I'm not going to be able to coach him up all the time in the situation because that's they stood.
Yeah.
So now the relationship you have now is, let's get you some help. Let's figure this out together. And it's a whole dynamic
yes.
of how it works. And I'm a boomerang back to in relationships with women. Women is the yelling coach. But you know what? Sometimes something in life is whooping your behind. Instead of saying, let's come together, let's say, hey, let's figure this out, babe.
You know what? And okay, I'm glad you said they the yelling coach, right?
Yeah.
Because it's coaches that they always yelling.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like they say about cussing.
Uh-huh.
If you do it all the time, it loses its effectiveness, right?
Right.
And I think sometimes women talk about communication in relationships.
Yeah.
It's not always effective communication. It's just a lot of words sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And I think they could, if they could learn to say, use less words sometimes. Don't speak on everything. Right. You're stinging your words, and not say that you're trying to hurt them, but your effectiveness in your words hits different.
Yeah, it hits different.
But what? Listen, here's what all three of us have done, and I think a lot of times in most cases this is discredited. We all have grown up with a woman in our house. Her name was our mama, right? Mama's always yap 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 yap.
Oh, woof.
Yap 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 yap.
Give me a whoop.
Yap yap
Give
yap.
me the whoop.
And you're like, man, you know what? But you know what you say? Man, she always doing that. There were certain times when mama said something a certain way.
Oh, yeah. When you get your whole government name called?
There was a sting to it. Like, yo. Whoa, what did I do? Right?
Yeah.
Because she knew there was a change. Mama was gonna talk.
Right.
But there was a change where she needed to get your attention.
Right.
And I think in relationships, I think sometimes you have to understand that sometimes less is more, especially when dealing with men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And direct communication, right? Not you should know.
Yeah.
You should understand. You should be in tune. You should be a mind reader.
Right.
You should just no, direct communication. And a buddy of mine always say, hey, the more directions you give me, the less decisions I gotta make.
Right.
Hey,
right.
Do this.
Yeah.
Now here's the flip side. I hear this all the time. Well, I don't want to have to tell you how to do it.
But you're telling me. Hey, man, you know what? What's crazy when you say that? Because I remember my mom, like, okay, I need you to go over here. I want you to do this, do A, B, C, and D. And meanwhile, while she's telling me all this, she's doing it. Now I need you to do it this way. This I'm like,
oh man,
hey, are you listening to me? Well, I'm waiting to get in there and do it.
now, I'm waiting to see how much you're gonna complete of
Yeah,
this.
that part too.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Going back before you gave his mom, I'll say this. One thing you were talking about what man ask a question or you should know or any type of conversation like that where there's limited information. It's surprising to me, right? That anybody in a position of leadership, they have a council. All right. Your other C-suite people. We're supposed to provide you with the best information to make a decision. And it's interestingly enough, like we use terms, particularly women say marriage is a job, right? Well, if marriage is a job, there's a hierarchy, right? All right. And like you said, a woman's job is to provide men with all the adequate counsel to make a proper decision for both of them. Because as I said, if things go wrong, he got to take that bullet. All right. So it's like, ladies, a lot of the bad decisions, I'm not blaming you, but I would like to ask the ladies, what information are you giving them? Is the information you giving them, hey, this is this is what I think. I trust you to make a decision. Or is your information, you do what you want to do. Go on about it, just go ahead. Like, I'm not going to give you information because I want to see you fall in your face. Well, or you don't listen to me, so I'm not going to say anything. And I really want to curb that not listening to, because like you said, more often than not, you just want to be heard. You're not giving me a solution.
And I think everybody's been in a situation where you just want to be heard. It's not really a solution. It's just almost what they call it, a regurgitation of what the problem is.
Exactly.
And so we're saying, okay, well, yeah, but how do we go forward, right? But I will say this, and a lot of ladies will probably say this. I've offered wise counsel, and he never listens, and he keeps doing it and getting caught on the wrong side of the deal. What advice could you even give that woman? Because as you just said, she is giving him good advice, but he continues to go against her advice, almost to the point where not even considering, not even using bits and pieces. Because I do hear that a lot.
Okay. But I'll answer that, right? I'll answer that. It's the best way I can answer. I'm married. You all know I'm married, right? Most of the times, my wife, intern and extern, is the most beautiful person I ever met. Sometimes she gets on my nerves. It's just a fact of the matter. Sometimes she gets on my nerves, right? But let's just say, even though sometimes when she gets on my nerves, ultimately I always say, but I chose her. If this marriage fails, right, which God forbid does, I will always hold me with some responsibility because I chose her. All right. Now she can add to something that will cause us to break, but at some point I have to take culpability and responsibility because I chose her. Likewise with these ladies, I am sure, right? And I'm going to use the masses to make the assumption, meaning based on my experiences. When we have these conversations, I often hear women like, I said this, I told him that, I said this, and he didn't do that. And I always say, people are who they are. In your dating stage, you can't tell me he didn't show this behavior before you chose him.
Good point.
Right.
Because a lot of times to that point, the guy you're complaining about has always been that guy.
Right.
But you wanted to walk down the aisle.
Right.
And you wanted to have the wedding.
You know what? That's on both sides of the tracks. Because how many times do guys ignore the red flag?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah,
so it's both sides.
She fine.
Hey, but now we get in here, it's like, and your homeboy said, you didn't see that?
Yeah.
Well, I saw it, but I blew that off.
I thought I could deal with it. Right.
We always say we can deal with that.
I'm saying, and it's funny. And I think this is the difference between men and women. I think ladies get with the guys and they say, I can change that. Men get with the women and say, I can deal with that,
That,
right?
yeah.
They ain't gonna get on my nerves,
Right.
true.
And
Until
so-
they get on your nerves.
Until they get on your nerves. And I
Yeah.
think for the ladies, she's saying, "Oh, it'll be easy to get him to switch and do this
Yeah.
until he don't
Yeah.
switch
Right.
and do that." And I think
Right.
that's where when we start having these conversations before the relationship, and I think for men, as we're talking about the power of being able to be a man,
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to be able to say from jump, and I don't know what the conversations that each one of you guys had, but I think from jump, it has to be laid out like, you know what? I know I might not be liked,
Yeah.
but this program, although we are in it,
Mm-hmm.
it's my playbook,
Right.
right? My playbook can be altered if we get wise counsel to try something else mid-game,
Right.
but it has to be my playbook. But I don't think ladies would have a problem with that up front.
Well, as long as you're winning.
Yeah.
If you're the $1 million cat, problems ain't. Hey, them little problems don't mean nothing, do it.
No,
Or right, or they don't seem nearly as big. in the
Big,
grand
yeah,
scheme of
yeah.
things.
But if you the guy coming home, something like French fries, them problems, problem.
well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this though. If you come up and smell like French fries, well, while he was giving you his playbook, he was still frying fries, right?
Yeah.
Now,
But
and
you saw the potential. He could be manager.
well, true.
Hey, 2 years later, he's still frying fries.
I wonder specifically in the example you just gave. I wonder how many women would even give that guy a chance.
Well, they won't.
Success always has a beginning. Always has a beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
She
Overnight
said,
success
begin
generally
before you
takes
get
10
her.
to 15 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just really now I do know there are some women. I would even say a lot who saw that potential,
Mm-hmm.
right? Saw the work being put in and was willing to stay the course.
Right.
But even whatever number you put on it, I'm sure the percentage is small,
Yeah.
because people in general, women in particular, want instant gratification when it comes to financial
Right.
security. She wants it, like
Yeah.
football, right?
Right.
All my career in football, I've never been the best player. I've been one of the best.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I've been one of the best. So I had to put that work behind the scenes.
Right.
In high school, I wasn't that dude, so I didn't get talked to. I didn't start in college till halfway through my junior year,
Yeah.
right? Well, those nights I was running, putting in the gym, and all
Right.
of them same women there. Okay, because you ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting in the work,
Yeah.
but you're
Right.
not there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. But then when I start getting the ink,
Yeah.
hey, all of a sudden, bossy, he look good. That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
So
bossy.
in that situation, did you allow those women to come back into the fold?
And that's the problem. No, I did not.
Oh, you
Call
didn't?
it fair that no, I didn't.
Okay, because
I
a lot
didn't.
of times,
Yeah.
guys will allow them to come back to the fold, which would
Right.
incentivize them to say, "Listen, go get successful before I come around." But you
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
No,
You-
I
you
wouldn't
did.
because
Okay,
because
okay.
I guess
Yeah.
to me, and I think people in general go through this. You didn't want me then. Why
Oh, yeah.
allow you to have me
Yeah.
now?
Right.
yeah,
Right.
They could be like
Right.
you at the office, like you the manager, right? And you want to talk to Taylor. Taylor fine as all get out. Hey, T, you cool and all that. All of a sudden, you go manager, vice president, and now you
Mhm.
CEO.
yeah,
Taylor like, hey, T.
Yeah.
Or if you do want Taylor, it's to make her regret.
It's to make her-
that
yeah, she did,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
I make
yeah.
her
It's about to be
regret.
a problem.
Yeah.
Make her- yeah.
and I think when you talk about even the instant gratification and being successful, I do think that there are a lot of ladies who saw the guy, and saw his potential and said, "Hey, I'm investing this." Now, what a lot of ladies say is, if you help him get to his potential, you're only creating him for the next woman. That's one thing they say. Number two, I think for men, and speaking to the men's side of it, if you are going to be somebody who can be approached or accepted because of your potential,
Mhm.
you got to have you got to have proof of concept,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
You don't have to have the whole kingdom built,
Mhm.
but you need to show her how you went from here to here, right?
I agree.
I was here. I started out, my credit score was 520 in June of whatever year. It's 790. Why? Because I saved money, did this. My savings account was this. I took it, 5x. I did this. I'm still, and this is what I'm working toward. This is why I don't go out as much. This is why she can see that. She can say, okay, you're moving.
Right.
A lot of dudes just talking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
For
baby
sure.
girl, I'm gonna be such, and then because of slick talk, a lot of ladies fall for it.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I'll let you say this, which is why I even tell my wife, I say, hey, for a man, if I find out that my words hold more value than my actions, I'll stop doing whatever it is I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I'll just give you all words.
Say what you want to hear.
And
I'll
you-
just say what you want to hear.
and how many women out there operate on words of affirmation?
A lot.
And that's why Slick always get you like, man, how this dude? Because let me tell you, Slick can get you. If you words of affirmation and Slick know that, oh man, I can paint you. Hey, I can paint you a picture that looks so beautiful.
It's pimping one-on-one.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Oh, girl, he gonna be this, he gonna be that. Hey,
Yeah,
that's
follow-
how
follow
you get
through.
caught up.
Follow
Yeah.
through is- follow
Yeah.
through is
But you know what?
imperative.
We were talking earlier about going back on the deeper and diving back into the subject real deep, and we were talking. It's just the positioning and bossy. And I'm not saying that you're not T, but soon as sin came in, it was already said the woman was gonna want to switch that role. They're
Mhm.
gonna want our role, and it's just a nature that they don't even recognize. And it's a battle we've been fighting for a long time, but biblically people don't see it. Is good.
So I want to be clear on what you're saying, right? Or just expound on what he's saying for those who are listening. He's talking about a verse in the Bible when God tells Eve, your desire will be for your husband. It's being your desire will be for his position. That wasn't necessarily, it was not a curse, right?
Well, yeah.
It wasn't, but no, it was effective. This is the whole new thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, God made man and woman, he made them equal. A lot of people don't agree with that, but I can prove it.
Mhm.
God made man and woman equal. Like he made two CEOs.
Right.
There's several reasons why you know that, but I'll give you the easiest one, right?
Okay.
When Adam and Eve was created, and I said it before, right? He didn't call her Eve, he called her woman. He gave her an identity. He didn't give her a name.
Right.
In Jewish culture, when something comes under your authority, you give it a name.
Yes, that's
When
important.
Eve fell, Adam didn't call her Eve until after the fall because she came under her authority.
Right.
So basically, Eve has always had the wherewithal, the ability, the knowledge to lead.
Right.
And when she was made a co-leader. She got demoted only in title, but not ability. So
Right.
that's just like take it to the job. Me and you got the same job. Now they make you my boss. How you think I'm going to feel?
Mhm.
Right.
That's a problem.
Mhm.
So
Right.
that's what God was saying.
Yeah.
Now that I'm gonna put you under him, you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
You think like him,
Right.
you operate like him, you have the same
Yeah.
knowledge that
Right.
he does and ability, but now you got to come under him
Right.
for covering
Right.
versus coming directly to me.
Right.
So your attitude of being used to being here is going to remain.
Right.
And that's why the Lord says that your desire will always
Always
be
be.
for his position,
Right.
because that's where you start.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And there was a clip that was put out, and this was by a guy named Kevin on Stage, and a question that was
Kevin on
asked.
Stage.
They asked him, "Do you see a lot of marriages now not making it, and people just shying away from marriage? Why is that?" And so his answer was, "I believe women have more options today than they had in the past."
Right.
And he said that so now just being a man ain't enough, and men have not adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk about and I don't know his exact reason why he said adjusted.
But how can we adjust? I'm like, it's no adjustment. We're in the order we're supposed to be in. Now, one thing about it is, men are getting to the point. I'm tired of getting beat up outside the house and come in and getting beat up again inside the house.
Yeah, men in general, we are. I know the titles when you look at the violence that men do in general. Like we don't want to fight, right?
Right.
We fight because we have to.
Right.
We don't want to fight.
Right.
It's a reason that all the men that we know can be in the vicinity and everybody can fight and don't nobody fight.
Right.
We don't want to. Hey, guess what?
They know what come with it.
Guess what? I can size both of y'all up.
Uh-huh.
And I can say, oh man, I think I can get him. But you might hit me. And it might hurt, right? No matter what my bravado is.
Yeah.
His arm seem a little long.
Yeah.
I got all the confidence. Why I don't want to, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's talk it out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So and we're talking about emotional men, not men who just, got to always prove a point. So the thing is that when we are in that situation, it is, when he said we don't adjust. So I didn't know if he meant we didn't adjust educationally so that we continue to hold the higher jobs. I didn't know if he meant adjust in the fact that we say, you know what, I'm no longer the head. I'll allow you to be co. Because I've heard guys say, hey man, we're co-heads of the house, and I was like, I thought anything that had two heads was that.
Yeah.
So what I always say to that when I hear that, from men and women, when we share, I always say, well, marriage and life brings conflict.
Uh-huh.
When conflict happens or chaos or situation, there has to be a decision made.
Right.
So when a decision has to be made, right, and there's a difference of opinion, what decision is made? Because that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You even have that in business. You have, that's why there's a CEO or board or whatever the case may be.
Right.
At some point, because I've been on the set on a lot of C-suites. We don't all agree.
Right.
Matter of fact, I was literally talking to a client today. I had breakfast with a client today, and I gave him my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He disagreed. Okay, cool. At the end of the day, you the authority.
Mm-hmm.
So now if me and him both equals, we got to fight now, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's my way, and then the ultimate goal is going to suffer for that.
Right.
So that's long way saying. When I hear people say, "Well, we equal," or women say, "Well, we make the same," how? Human nature. At some point, y'all going to disagree, and when there's a disagreement, who wears the authority?
And I'm gonna say,
Go ahead.
but I'm gonna say this to the point that Bossy made earlier about. And I read that passage where there was no hierarchy established before.
Right.
He then said, you're going to be here, you're going to be here, you're going to be here. And me and my wife, we had a whole Bible study, and she disagreed. I said, there was no hierarchy.
It was not.
So with that being said, you got a chance to see when there was no hierarchy, how Eve handled the situation.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to go to Adam and Adam go to God.
She did not.
She just said, I'm going to make this decision.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so a lot of times I think when you look at it and say, if we're going to look at how biblically it was put into place, the punishment was that, listen, you operated in a manner that I didn't want you to.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to go under some guidance, because the serpent was able to talk you out of your position.
Mm-hmm.
How do I protect you from that? I got to put the responsibility on one.
Right.
Why? Because when God came, he looked at both of them like, well,
now
now
hold on. Let me I'm gonna square the story up. Now, when he came, he asked Adam, "Where are you?"
Yes.
Because the deal was
I'll explain that too.
Yeah, I get a short version. You don't hit the long ball.
Because I hear people, because I'm going to have women say, "Well, why did he call Adam?" And I'll tell you,
and the deal is, we think it all happened in a matter of hours. This was a relationship developed. So during this relationship with the serpent, where was Adam doing all this time? And that's what he said, Adam, where were you? So during this time, where were you?
Mm-hmm.
Because she developed this relationship, and it was a matter of time when it took place.
Mhm.
And that's why he called out Adam on that, because okay.
Since,
Now, go ahead and hit him with the long ball.
Since we getting into it, I'll go a little deeper, right? So God, whenever he manifests something in the earth, he positions it in heaven first. All right. The moment the woman ate the apple, the punishment was already in place.
Yeah.
The moment she ate it, the punishment was already in place. Right. So when God calls out Adam, where are you? Right. When he calls out Adam, where are you? It's not a sense where I'm calling him because he was authority initially. It's because of what I just said. The moment she ate that apple, her fate was sealed.
Yeah.
That's why he addressed the man.
Yeah.
All right. Because like I said, you can even see, and I think it's Psalms chapter 8. When David is writing about, I believe it's David is writing about the reverence God had for man. When David used man, he's addressing men and women. When God created man, he created them men and women. And God said to both of them, have dominion and rule over the earth. He said it to both of them. That's where words like king, like dominion also can be traded in kingdomship, right? Kingdom rule. That's what he said to both of them. When she fell, she came under his covering. You also hear people say, as you said, that things happen over time. In Genesis, the word "and" in the Bible generally means a passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
When you read when the serpent came to Eve, she didn't bite the apple immediately.
Oh, the fruit.
It says the fruit. It says when he told her, after she saw it was good to eat. It said, and after there was a passage of time, because what does that sin do? Think of it as adultery on the job. When you see a fine chick, the dude who's going to cheat on his wife, when he sees the fine chick at work, does he hit it the first day?
No.
There's she nice. Oh, we talking. Oh, she's single. There's a passage of time for the sin festers.
Right.
That's the same thing happened with Eve. Wasn't stupid
at
all.
Right.
And the serpent planted the seed of doubt in her, because I'm sure first thing she said was, I ain't eating that apple. And she walked back the next day. Yeah, I ain't gonna eat it, but apple look pretty good.
Yeah.
Because God forbid it. It was never in her mind to even look at the tree.
Right. And it's crazy. You going there. He got Eve to focus on that apple so much.
Exactly.
The one tree you couldn't have, but look at all the other things you can have.
Right.
But one slick got her looking at this one deal.
And that's the thing. Like, exactly. Because I'm positive. Eve walked past the tree of life every day, didn't pay it no attention.
Right.
Until somebody pointed at, hey.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's a rule women say it's for men, but it's generally all of us. We always want the thing most that we don't think we can have.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's, as we wrap this up, I think that's why when we talk about your power of being a man, because of, and I'm glad we went into those stories of the Bible, because when you talk about the hierarchy and you talk about the way that God had in place man and woman, well, now you are the go-between when the proverbial tree of life is in play. No matter how much she wants to eat off the tree of life, the man is the one that got to say no. And when you say no, you might be hated, you might scream, fuss, but you got a job to do.
Right.
And the main thing I wanted to talk about this, because I wanted to point out the power is not given to you by the woman around you or the family or the kids. That power is not given to you as a man. That power was given to you by God. So no matter if nobody likes it, you got to do that job, because you not doing your job is the difference of life and death. Everybody can fall because you don't do your job. And I know we always have conversations on here, and we get into, a lot of the man woman thing or whatever the case may be. And we try not to have it to the point where we're bashing anybody. But I want to have a show with men, two men, to say, you got a job to do. And that job was given to you. And if that woman doesn't like the way you do your job, but your job is in line with the way God wanted you to do the job,
Keep doing your job.
keep doing your job.
Right.
Hey, we had a question real quick before we get out of here. It was one of our list watchers, and was it
Gary.
Gary?
What's up, fam?
Gary asked a question. Is it never too late for a person to reach their purpose in life? Is it never too late for a person to reach their purpose in life? Real quick.
Oh, that's a tough one.
You know,
I don't think the only way I can answer that, I probably won't answer this question correctly. This is what I believe. I guess in a way you can say yes, I guess, right? In a way you can say yes, only because I know we fiddle our way around and God gives us purpose, right?
Mhm.
God gives us purpose. It's up to us to trust in that purpose and fulfill it because we have choices, right? I do believe in the realm of grace, you can blow a lot of chances to a point where God is like, okay, I'll take my hand off of you. He demonstrated that with Saul's reign in over Israel, right? He literally, Israel kept saying, we want a king, we want a king, we want a king. God, you don't need one. We want one, we want one. You don't need one. You want one. Then God said, okay, that's what you want. All right. I believe there's space for that when it comes to pursuing your purpose, whatever the case may be, purpose, potential, whatever. So I don't think that has.
But you know what?
Did
Saul serve his purpose? His time just ran out because his purpose would be
my focus wasn't on Saul. It was the kingdom of Israel, right? It was them. It was Saul was an example of giving a people, because God was like, follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me.
Right.
Y'all purpose is to follow me.
Right.
They were like, no, we want a king.
Right.
God was like, you don't need a king.
Right.
Follow me.
So,
So
do you think it's ever too late to find your purpose?
I don't think it's too late because I'm gonna go to Moses, because Moses, it was 40 years before he went back to Egypt and fulfilled what God wanted done. So could you say it was Moses? Could say that? Let me back up. Moses probably at that time had no idea he would be going back to Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Think about 40 years.
Right.
5 years in. I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we go 25 years, bro. Hey man.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what I'm gonna do.
And that's back to my point. To be clear, like I said, I'm not going to say no.
Right.
But I do believe that at some point your grace could expire, because there's examples in the Bible where your grace could expire, and I do believe that's possible.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I when people ask me about purpose all the time, I always tell them, purpose is hindsight. Do not get paralysis by analysis searching for your purpose. What you need to do is make plans. God will show you your purpose in your plans, because what are plans? Plans are the faith that you have that God can make these things happen. And if you're actually working your plan, you are working your faith. Right. And then what'll happen is you'll realize in your plan, you will find your purpose. And what I mean by that, you ever been headed somewhere and you got a plan to go somewhere, but all of a sudden you're at the right place at the right time to save somebody's life, be in the position that if your kids call, you was only 2 minutes away from being in a position. If your wife had a flat, I'm right around the corner, but you had a plan to go somewhere. See, your plan was to do whatever you had set out to do. Your purpose was to be right there where God needed you to be to give that help. Right. So stop looking for your purpose, because too many people are having a failure to lunch looking for purpose. Start making plans. Tell God you got faith that you're going to put the work behind your faith, and you want him to do these plans, and he's going to place you in a position
put them
to where you're going to see.
Put them in pencil. Don't put them in ink.
Yeah. And so what you're going to do is, but I'm going to tell you this real quick. You should put them in pencil, not in ink.
Yep.
No, put them in ink. You know why?
Why?
Because it says, God says, tell me the desires of your heart, right? These are the desires of my heart. And the thing is, God can always ball up the paper and say, hey, you know what? I got something for you, and this is going to circle you around. So what I'm saying
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, but be bold with it, put it in, and say, hey, and then guess what? I now submit these to you.
Yeah.
But I put them down, and what's going to happen is he's going to say, hey, I had some girls in here, and we closing out. I had some girls in here training them they was a youth basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
My purpose was to give them media training.
Mhm.
I found out later that one of those young girls had tried to commit suicide twice. And after she left, she said, I want to be in media. I know what I want to do. The mom said her whole attitude, perspective on life and everything changed. My plan was to teach them media. My purpose that day was to save her life.
Right.
And I
Right.
didn't know that when I came
Right.
in to teach them
Right.
media. So guess what, guys? This has been another edition of Toxic is the New Masculinity.
Yes,
Hope you
sir.
enjoyed this episode and understand you got a job to do. And we are men challenging men, because they say we don't challenge each other, hold each other accountable.
yeah.
Men challenging men, you got a job to do. And ladies, if they do that job, you have to do what? That S word that y'all don't like. Submit. Yo, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
And plan on seeing us next week.
Toxic is the New Masculinity.